all of this, people not feeling safe and that kind of thing, would you be willing to really support us and try and push this through and make it something that can happen for even next year?
I will really need to read the resolution before I can really commit to it. I am committed to promoting diversity, educating students as far as diversity and acceptance of others, and in any way that we can do that, I support that.
And Michelle, since you have seen it, would you be willing to help us and support us on pushing that through?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
We'd have to work with academics on that.
Are there other questions?
I have one. Outside of Spectrum, is there any programs that your office offers for students, LGBT students, not in Spectrum? Like outside of Spectrum, outside of there are LGBT students outside of Spectrum. Do you guys offer any programs like through like the dorms or through anything else?
Well, I'll let Joe speak to a resident's life, but what we really try to do is promote diversity, and that is have students understand and appreciate diversity from all levels and all aspects. And so I think in almost any student organization we have here, it's a diverse group of students, whether it's ethnically diverse or gender or otherwise diverse. So one of the things we try to promote, again, is that kind of integration. That's just generally the general philosophy, but if you have ideas about things specifically, we'd be happy to hear about them and determine how we can support them. Do you have an idea?
Well, yeah, I think some of the RAs I've noticed can tend to be a little bit intolerant or do not act upon things reported to them. And I think that is something that's really important for them to be trained in that. And I think there are other things too. I think even with, that sometimes the university also pushes through readings, cultural readings and things like that. And I haven't really never seen any LGBT literature pushed through either.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure about the reading,
Yeah, like the library offers. I remember last year we did like the incident of the dog in the nighttime, and that addresses autism, and we do things like that. Right, and we've never really brought up LGBT literature.
Well, I'm certainly willing to support. If you have some ideas or if you have a reading that you'd like, to promote, we'd be happy as a division to help you with that. I think that's a great idea, actually. Joe, did you want to speak to the residence halls and your policy there?
I'm Joe Campbell, the Director of Residence Life, and certainly one of the things that we do in training for our student paraprofessional staff is about diversity, and diversity in many forms. Though we had invited actually Anthony to come and be part of training, he had a conflict at the time that he had selected, so he was not part of training this past fall. We have been involved. We did the LGBT expression boards in all of the residential areas across campus, so we participated, including McCombs Village. So that's something that we did this fall. And again, if you have any specific staff member that has done something you think is inappropriate, please alert us. We will certainly investigate any allegations. We want our residence halls in the village to be welcoming, open places for everybody.
Are there other questions?
Yes. Which one?
You
first. Okay.
Could you just give me your name?
David.
David. Your last name?
Wholesale.
Okay. Not just you, everybody, because I mean, I'll probably never do this, but it's important to me to try to put names with faces. So, okay, David.
I was wondering if anything has been done about the hate speech that's been that has happened in the Student Senate or in student government as a whole.
Okay, again, honestly, this is my first hearing about the hate speech in Student Senate. We have zero tolerance for that. So again, if there's specific individuals who are engaging in behavior that's inappropriate or against our policy, please bring it to the attention of the Dean of Students, bring it to my attention.
Michelle was there, she witnessed it all.
Yeah, nothing was done.
Okay, well, I will, David, if you want to talk to me afterwards or whatever, give me more details, I'll follow up with Michelle. I'll follow up with Michelle, but again, we have a zero tolerance. So if an individual is doing something that's inappropriate or wrong, we will bring charges against them under the code, regardless of where it happens.
Do you mean meet you after today's meeting then?
Sure. Yeah, and I'll ask Michelle about the situation in it too, so honestly, this is my first, hearing about it, so.
I'm Matt Ronicky. We as Spectrum Leadership were just wondering why Spectrum Leadership was told that it's not UT's policy to respond in written form in regards to our letter.
Let me just say that there's no policy about not responding in written form. I personally, the reason I didn't respond in written form was because I'm a person that likes to interact with people, and for me, a lot's lost on paper, and it was important enough for me to meet with you face to face, to hear from you, to let you hear from me, and so I didn't feel like putting something, a sentence or two in writing. This is a serious issue, and if that wasn't justification for an issue this serious. So I honestly felt that I wanted to see you, I wanted you to see me, I wanted to have some discussion about it, because it's an important issue that I don't believe that can be written off easily with an email or a letter. That's my personal. And then personally, I was ill. I was out ill last week with a flu, and I'm still recuperating. I'm not contagious, but I'm recuperating. So I also ask you to forgive me with that too. But I also, I did ask my office almost immediately to set up a meeting, because again, that's my personal style, is to do things face to face. Rachel?
For the Office of Student Involvement, since Anthony's gone, he was named as the advisor for many of the smaller organizations who didn't have advisors, staff advisors. Who's going to be their advisor now?
We actually are in the process of trying to get permission to fill that position. We expect that to happen very quickly. And if it doesn't happen before Thanksgiving, then we will come up with a staffing plan to do that. And if you have specific groups, if you'll send me that list of specific groups, that would...
I just know a lot, probably over 50 of the smaller organizations. Okay. You know, first Ricardo was listed as their advisor, and then it moved on to Anthony, so I didn't know what professional staff.
Well, what I'll ask staff to do is to review the list of advisors, and any group that Anthony was the advisor for, that will give me an idea of the groups. But again, we're very hopeful that we will be able to have a placement for that position by Thanksgiving. That's our hope. Crystal?
When you get permission for that position, which I'm sure you will, because that office is empty, will there be a search committee with students on it?
Quite honestly, it depends on how they allow us to fill it. In other words, as far as the way they're justifying positions, as opposed to bringing in new hires or whatever, there's different multiple ways, so we don't know how they're going to allow us to fill the position.
Students won't be involved. Like, is there a way that they could be either way, or just so that we can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me, again, once we get permission to fill the position, we'll look at a way to make sure the students are involved.
So
Hi, Ashley. How are you today?
Good. I'm just catching up. What office and position or whatever the case are we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about Anthony's position.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was being replaced. I just thought it was.
We're attempting. We put a proposal together to HR. You know, there was the layoffs, et cetera. We're not doing new hiring for the most part, so we're just trying to make something happen in a creative way. So, hey Mark, how are you?
Hi, Kaye. How you doing?
I'm okay.
I've heard a lot of negative things about the market match that's going on right now with our dining services, and that it may be a way for them to prolong investing the money into building their Chick-fil-A and doing other things of that nature. And I've heard some frustration from some of the people that sit on like the dining committee. I've heard that they're just having, you know, trouble getting things done. They always just tell them to wait till the market match is out. There's a very, I mean, this is the last year of their contract. So to the best of my knowledge.
This is actually the second year of a 5-year contract.
Okay. Is it review after 2 then, or is it?
It's review at 5 for a possible 10.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the contract there then. But at any rate, you know, what can you say about the market match and how the market match came about?
Okay, let me say that market match, I actually was at another campus when I was at Old Dominion. Aramark was there, and market match is really part of their organization's long-term strategic